All right, a new VR headset-ish thing called Elsewhere plans to take your iPhone and turn it into a 3D camera rig, sort of. Joining us to talk about this is Addie Robertson from The Verge. How's it going, Addie?
Hi, good.
It's good to have you here. So the marketing says this is a breakthrough in perception, possibly not overspeaking at all, for VR. Do you agree?
No, I do not agree.
So tell me a little bit about how this works. What is happening behind the scenes with Elsewhere?
Okay, so basically Elsewhere is two things. One of them is Google Cardboard. It's a pair of lenses and a frame, and you put an iPhone in it. The other part is an app, and basically what it does is convert any video to 3D video. So if you look at like a picture on your phone, it'll convert that. The thing that's kind of neat about it is that it can convert your camera feed. So if you look at another screen through your phone's camera feed, you will see that screen in 3D, which is kind of neat. But it's not really VR, and it's not really quite as revolutionary as it's making itself out to be, because once you actually get over the novelty, it's not really clear what you do with it. So it's a super fun toy, but it's not really like a VR headset that you would want to spend a lot of time in.
Like, I'm trying to understand the effect, because I know you had said that you can use your camera to kind of like see the real world, let's say. How is it any more 3D than what we already see as 3D when we use our eyes? Or like, what's the difference?
Just really bad at telling what 3D is, and I don't know, understanding dimensions. But no, if you look at something that looks like it should have perspective and depth, like if you look at a TV or a laptop screen, then that's going to have what seems like looking at a 3D TV. Mm-hmm. But if you're just looking at the real world, like if you're looking at a thing that's already physically three-dimensional, I can't really tell the difference.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be sort of weird and trippy and intense, but I just haven't gotten it.
Well, it seems to me like it's something you might find in a cereal box, except for if that cereal costs $50, because that's how much it costs.
Right. And the thing that's really kind of annoying is that there's not really any reason that you should need the hardware if you have a Google Cardboard headset, which do come in the equivalent of cereal boxes, if you mean the New York Times.
Yeah.
And so really it's just an app, and it's sort of a $50 iPhone app. And you can't download it from the App Store or buy it separately. You get a QR code when you order the glasses, and you scan it, and it installs it.
Yeah, it kind of seems like they're banking on the fact that it sounds more intriguing than it actually probably ends up being. So I don't know, like when I kind of think of what's going on, like I really want to check it out with my own eyes, because then I can understand kind of the visual sense of this, because it is really difficult to explain to someone who's never seen this sort of thing what it actually looks like. Is it safe to kind of make the comparison to, like, I know in the audio world there's spatial enhancements that, you know, like simulate surround sound or that sort of thing, which, I mean, to an audio purist, I would say they would listen to that and be like, oh yeah, I guess so, but yeah, not really at all. Is it kind of along those lines? Like it's simulating it, but it's not very convincing.
I could see that. Maybe a closer comparison would be when you had DVD players that could sort of turn any DVD into vaguely stereoscopic 3D.
Oh, okay.
By sort of converting it. And so it wasn't necessarily perfect, but it was a decent simulacrum. And in this case, it's that it's attached to your face, and it's in a format that's very sort of hyped and popular right now.
So is that that's a little bit of what your article in The Verge is about. Like, you know, you throw the word VR into anything, even if it's just, you know, 3D video or some, you know, version of 3D video, and then you think you can charge $50 for it. Like, talk a little bit about just the hype around VR right now.
Right. So if you talk about VR, it's sort of like saying that it's magic. I mean, they do actually also use the word magic, I think, somewhere. But it sort of puts it outside the realm of just being a gadget. And at that point, it's something that's transcendent and something that also people will kind of group in with the very best of VR. So if you say virtual reality, people sort of think, oh, it's Google Cardboard, but Google Cardboard's probably like the Oculus Rift. It's all virtual reality. Which is not true at all.
Right. Yeah, the difference between VR and immersive video and all of these different stages, and it's all getting lumped into the same bucket. And no wonder people who have never seen it, this sort of stuff are confused about it because it's a million different things.
It was a million different things. Like there's a reason that web language is virtual reality markup language, is VRML, because at one point 3D graphics were VR. It's just that that's not remotely what anyone means right now.
Right. Could you see, a future where, because it sounds like it's definitely doing something unique to itself that you don't really find in other solutions. Could you see this as being like another spec on existing VR headsets? Like they integrate whatever is going on here as like another special feature, and that would add value to something that already exists maybe?
Theoretically, anybody, I guess, could integrate the software, although I don't know all that much about it. Samsung, so the Gear VR has the pass-through camera. I could see adding that to that so that you could look at a screen and see 3D through the screen. The problem is that when you say that, it just sounds so convoluted.
Yeah, it really does.